In the span of 1 month, I went from being super burnt out at work while dealing with massive personal meltdowns to feeling excited about life again and bringing to market 2 new businesses. And I did this not just by changing my mindset on things, but by using the deconstructive power of a particular mind map to break down exactly why I was gonna win and how the odds were stacked in my favor. So in this video, I'm gonna break down this technique step by step. And then at the end of the video, I'll also give you an extra tool that's gonna tie some massive rockets to your productivity once you've made up your mind to turn your life around. So stick around to find out. If you're new to this channel, welcome. I'm Shane. I'm a full-time strategy consultant helping people and companies parse through life's noise so that they can think clearly and take decisive action. I'm also a former corporate strategist with Google and Niantic Labs and spent the past decade working with top executives to navigate some of the world's most competitive markets. For some context, I was working on a new program called Hustle Launchpad to help burnt-out entrepreneurs bring their dream businesses to life in 8 weeks or less, using everything that I've learned from launching dozens of products. That was, of course, before my wife, Olivia, found out that her dad was diagnosed with terminal pancreatic cancer, which forced us to drop everything and move from San Francisco to Houston to help her family out. All this was while juggling 4 businesses and questioning whether artificial intelligence was going to automate me completely out of the picture, being a knowledge worker and all. I was so burnt out from the overwhelm, the overwork, and worry that I just wake up in the middle of the night, staring at the ceiling, wondering if I should just pull the plug on all of this, because everything just pointed to why this was the worst time to start yet another business. So, ironically, I have become the burnt-out entrepreneur that my program was supposed to help. And then I caught myself and remembered a technique that I used with my own coaching clients, which was to simply ask, why is now the best time to do what I want to do? The results were phenomenal. It was like I did this crazy U-turn in the other direction. All right, guys, first step is to write, why is now the best time to do X in the center. This will immediately prime your brain to begin answering that question. So in my case, it is, why is now the best time to launch my course? Step 2 is to create the why me node. In other words, why am I the best to teach this course? This is because starting anything new is inherently uncomfortable. And it's really prone to self-doubt and imposter syndrome. And just like how our mind automatically goes into the why is now not a great time, we need to counteract these negative biases. Otherwise, you'll be hunted by these lingering thoughts that creates a lot of resistance down the line. So let's just get out of the way that you are an absolute badass and you are perfect for the job. So in my case, why me for launching Hustle Launchpad? It's because I've already launched dozens of tech products. I've also launched my YouTube channel, 3 newsletters, multiple websites, published 2 ebooks before ChatGPT came along, as well as created a community of mind mappers, which is Mind Map Nation. In addition, I'm also a great teacher, able to synthesize complex ideas. Note that we are actually branching out. This is pretty critical because you want to get really specific. The more specific you are, the more reasons you're giving yourself why you are the perfect person for the job. This means that when push comes to shove, you can go back to this map to remind yourself why you don't have to be shrinking away from what is it that you actually want to do. After you have established your credibility to yourself in this domain, it's time for step 3, which is expanding out the various factors of why now is the best timing. In my case, by the way, I'm using Notability for this, which is an awesome iPad application that basically gives me a digital canvas to work on. It's just a lot easier to manipulate the different elements around in my mind map while retaining the fluidity of paper and pen. The factors in my book are AI disruption, personal turmoil, and the San Francisco to Houston move. We have AI disruption, which on the surface would mean, hey, I could be automated out completely, but in reality, when you're launching a new business, you still need to have a framework in order to actually go through the steps to launch. Like the AI, at least not currently, is able to do that for you. It's not gonna make that product for you and then find the customers. You still have to go through all those checkpoints yourself. If you are finding this video helpful so far, please consider hitting that like or subscribe button because it helps me out a lot. And to make sure that this kind of knowledge is going to help out many more people just like you. All right, let's get back into it. In that respect, framework is still needed. And without a framework, you don't have any intentionality around what is it that you want to launch. The other factor for burnt out entrepreneurs or people who are like super swamped and busy, AI is like the best thing that could have happened because it just makes us much more efficient. What it does is it gives entrepreneurs new tools that scale. Not only that, is generative AI especially is really good at giving you new ideas if you know the right prompts, all of which empower and enable. With so many new AI tools coming out every single day, it creates a ton of noise. If I'm able to relieve some of that noise with some direction as well as a container, again, you need focus. That means they can actually take advantage of these new tools rather than being overwhelmed. Not only that, my framework actually gives them a container to see how the tools fit, which means that the chaos goes down. And then we have personal turmoil, which the way that I'm managing my building schedule, my launch schedule is using a set of tools like mind maps, Notion trackers, and sprints. I've also got a really solid routine, both morning where I wake up at 5 a.m., do my breathing exercises, do my brag book and gratitude journal, as well as an evening routine that gets me asleep by 10 p.m. All of these things actually energizes me. Between the tools and the routine, what they do is allow me to overcome quite a few challenges. For example, overwhelm, fatigue, distractions, and finally, uncertainty. And what this means is that I'm able to focus and make progress. And this focus on progress isn't just on launching a new project, but it's also I can manage 4 other existing businesses plus the new course. Which means if I'm able to pull this off, my system frickin' works. And this is key. At this point, you'll notice that I am drawing a lot of different annotations using different color to highlight the second order effect of what these different breakouts actually mean. This is what I call the meta layer of a mind map, which basically gives you the insights from the map. So if I were to review this again, essentially my conclusions is that my system works because of all these different components. It also allows me to see some of the connections between the different nodes to see if there are any synergies. From the AI side, I'm basically using a lot of the AI tools in order to launch my product, as well as to make myself more efficient while I'm running 4 existing businesses. So this empowerment component actually also is part of my system, which then I can pass off to the clients who are taking Hustle Launchpad. And then finally, we've got the big move from San Francisco to Houston, which is a much more quiet place, which actually allows me to focus better. So I don't have to be distracted by essentially friends. The lack of friends also means that I get to focus more on my new product launch. Finally, Texas, and especially Houston, is a much lower cost base. All of this, what allows me to do is feeds back into that focus and progress, which leads us to our 4th step, which is to zoom out, take in what you've just drawn and write out your conclusion. It doesn't have to be an essay. For me, it was a single sentence, which was, this map proves the system I teach works. After this exercise, I realized that all these negative reasons I was telling myself didn't really matter if I was committed. It's not that they're not true. I couldn't change Olivia's condition or the fact that I was swamped, but I could get more decisive and resourceful. Ultimately, if you want something badly enough, you will make it work. Not only did I successfully launch Hustle Launchpad, which by the way, just completed its first cohort, I also launched a new podcast project called Mind Map Gurus that interviews the world's top strategists and coaches. I did all of this within 4 weeks using the power of sprints. If you guys want to learn how to strap rockets to my productivity, then check out this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.